Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective. In this video, I'll be doing like a 2-for-1 predictions video with talking about Raw on Netflix on Monday and then New Year's Evil for NXT on Tuesday. So, yeah, let's get into the predictions. Cool, so starting off with Monday Night Raw, I'm going to kind of go through the card, kind of go almost like unedited, if you will. I'm just going to ramble for a bit about Raw and then ramble a bit about NXT. But at the minute, we have on the card Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso, which for me, I'm going to have probably Drew McIntyre to get the win here, or I don't know, I feel like it could go either way because I feel like these two are going to have a match at WrestleMania. So it kind of feels like whoever wins this one, they'll lose at WrestleMania. So as much as I would like Drew to win, I think Drew probably on paper would win. I do feel like, you know, having Jey have the win at Mania would be good, babyface pop-wise, but I feel like giving Drew the win overall would help him as far as putting him up the card a bit. But yeah, I can see a lot of shenanigans going on in this one, especially after SmackDown last night where Drew got involved in the main event 6-man tag. It kind of depends on how it goes, really. If there's no interference at all, I'd probably put it down to Drew, but if there is interference, I assume it'll be from like Jimmy Uso or Sami Zayn or something like that, and therefore they will give Jey Uso the win. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be a decent match, and these two are going to have a lot better match than the one they've had previously. But then, yeah, I feel like it's just going to be a lot of like storyline implications for this one, for these two specifically going forward. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Drew to get the win, but it wouldn't shock me if Jey got the win either. We got Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship, which was last woman standing, but now isn't last woman standing. I'm not sure whether they will change it on the night and it was just leaked that it was going to be last woman standing. But I feel like having that stipulation makes sense in this feud, just because the one thing I feel like this has actually been missing is the stipulation. And the one-on-one matches have been okay, they haven't been like the best. But yeah, for me, I think adding that last woman standing stip would actually be better off. And yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley to get the win here. Mainly because you have to, or at least in my opinion, we have to think about stuff from a casual fan perspective, and they're going to want to see a title change at some point. Of course, we've got the Ulafala Roman tribal combat match, but for me here makes the most sense of, you know, you get that title change, you get kind of what people associate with wrestling, which is championship changing hands, and you also get Rhea Ripley being a champion again, which is obviously very, very popular going into a very popular time of year with it being the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And it makes sense they put the title back on Rhea for this, and then maybe Becky Lynch shows up afterwards, maybe Charlotte Flair shows up afterwards. I mean, I can see it more likely being Becky showing up after the match. But yeah, for me, Rhea Ripley will win this one and become the new women's champion. We have the tribal combat match for the Ulafala between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. For me, everyone and essentially their cousin is going to get involved here, and I can see maybe some people were not quite expecting. You had to show things like Zilla and Hikuleo and stuff. I feel like for this one, it's not going to be quite as that much. I feel like if they have a match at WrestleMania, everyone is going to get involved in that one. For me, I think that's just going to be a Jimmy, Jey, Sammy, Tongans, Jacob, all that stuff. It's going to be an absolute shit show of a match, but it makes no sense. But for me, I'm going to go with Solo Sikoa to get the win here, because it makes sense that you would have the heel win, and then Roman has to fight back again to get to WrestleMania to face Solo, I assume, and then they kind of have their final battle at WrestleMania, which then moves the bloodline swiftly into part 5 or part 6 of that storyline. But yeah, for me, it makes the most sense for Solo to get the win here, get all the heat, and yeah, Roman then gets his win back at WrestleMania. And finally, as far as matches on the card go, I mean, I'm disappointed they didn't put the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament final on this card, but I also understand why they didn't with it, let's say, getting lost in the shuffle. But I do hope they add at least another half decent women's match, maybe something with the Io Sky in it, just so again the casuals can see just how good the women's division is. But we have Seth Rollins and CM Punk. For me, I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to get the win here, and it's going to be through him more or less going full-blown heel and kind of properly turning heel at this point, and kind of going on what I think will be a very dominant and very well done heel run for Seth. And it's mainly because, again, if you look at it from a casual perspective, you know, they want to see the kind of stuff that they associate with wrestling, and one of those things is a heel turn. And yeah, it makes sense that it'd be Seth here, because I feel like out of the two, like, Punk is more of the babyface, even though Seth is like completely justified in how he feels about Punk. And yeah, I mean, the promo they had last week on Raw was absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. And yeah, it makes sense here that Seth would kind of turn himself to the dark side to do whatever he can to beat CM Punk, and that would eventually lead to what I think is a kind of spoiler for later on in the month when I do my Royal Rumble predictions. I feel like the heel turn of Seth Rollins here will lead to him winning the Royal Rumble and going on to face CM Punk again, but for the World Heavyweight Championship. And yeah, I can see that kind of being, this will be like the first of a trilogy, maybe, I assume. But yeah, for me, this is probably going to be like the best match on the card by far. But it feels like it's going to be the best match with them holding back still. So yeah, it's a match I'm very much looking forward to, especially after the promo they had on Raw. But for me, I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to get the win here and just go full-blown heel. And yeah, obviously we've got the stuff that's rumoured around what's going to happen. You know, obviously it's rumoured that Becky's going to come back. It makes the most sense. She was even on the advert for the Netflix show. And I've said, I've got a feeling she's going to show up after the Women's World Title match. We've got a possible Charlotte Flair return, which I feel like would be... I don't know, I don't like Charlotte Flair, like, at all. So, like, I'd be happy if she didn't show up, but I know she's going to at some point. But I can't see her get involved in any championships, and if anything, she might just return at the Rumble and then move on to SmackDown. Yeah, we got the thing of The Rock. It makes sense that The Rock would be on this card to get people watching. What he'll do, I'm not sure, because sometimes he'll come in and cut a really decent promo and kind of set up stuff for the future, or he'll do what he did at Bad Blood and, you know, essentially threaten Cody, count to 3 weirdly, and then leave. So, you know, I don't know. I think we know that Cody's going to be there, or at least we've heard speculation that Cody's going to be there, so it wouldn't surprise me if Rock and Cody kind of went face-to-face again, even though I don't want that, because the segment they had after WrestleMania was awkward and crap. And of course, we see the farewell tour of John Cena go down, or at least will not go down, like begin, if you will. And the speculation of if he'll have a match, I think he will. I feel like it'll make the most sense that he would have a match here, and then people get to see him wrestle again, and they might stick around. For me, as far as opponents go, I don't think it's going to be a big opponent, like a Gunther or a... I don't even know, like, you know what I mean, like a big like into the main event thing. I've got a feeling that he's going to have a Judgment Day segment, because it wouldn't be Raw without a Judgment Day interruption. And a match I'd like to see go down is probably John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio, or maybe it'll be very simple and just go for John versus JD and have him kind of squash JD fairly quickly. But yeah, I feel like John Cena and a Judgment Day segment would be fine, and it kind of, I don't think it'll set up any kind of feud, but you know, it kind of gives John his first match in 2025 and gets us going onto the farewell tour. So, but yeah, as I do, comment below what you think is going to happen on Raw and kind of what you're expecting from people, what you think is going to happen in the matches. And yeah, we will move swiftly onto NXT New Year's Evil. Yeah, so before getting to NXT, I actually completely forgot that Rey Mysterio, New Day, and a mystery partner are having a tag match. And yeah, for me, it's Penta. It has to be Penta, surely. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Penta in WWE. I just hope that it's not in the capacity of within the LWO. I'm very hoping, to be fair, that this match doesn't even happen, and then we get like a Penta heel turn. He beats the crap out of Rey, which I'm absolutely for, because I hate Rey Mysterio with all of my being. And then yeah, we kind of see, you know, a heel Penta, which I haven't seen before. I've only ever seen Penta as a babyface in AEW, and I've heard very good things about Penta as a heel, so I'm hoping that's the way we go. And he kind of does, similar to what Andrade did, and he keeps himself away from the 2 Latino groups. And yeah, for me, I'm very looking forward to seeing what Penta can do in AEW as a singles guy until Rey Fenix comes along, whenever AEW decide they're going to let him go. And we get to see them come together as a tag team and get dream tag matches with the likes of the New Day, the Usos, and the Street Profits. So, yes, I'm very looking forward to. Sorry, I completely forgot about it in my original thing, but now we will definitely get into NXT New Year's Evil. So, New Year's Evil, for me, there's like 5 matches on the card, which is really cool. Obviously, around the same amount as Raw's got. And yeah, for me, I think it's going to be a really decent show, but we're going to start off with Lexis King defending the Heritage Cup against Charlie Dempsey in a sudden death Heritage British Rules match, or Heritage Cup match, I don't know. For me, I'm really not sure who's going to win this one. I assume Lexis King will retain just because he only won the title like 2 weeks ago or something, with the help of Mr. William Regal. But yeah, for me, I don't really know much about this one. I haven't really been watching NXT every week like I will be soon for reports over on Wrestling For You. But yeah, for me, completely not sure. I'm just going to guess into just anything. And for me, I'm going to go with Lexis King to retain just because he's only just won the cup. But yeah, moving swiftly on, we have the 6-woman tag match between Fatal Influence, which is obviously Jessamine Nix, JC Jane and Fallon Henley. And they're taking on Gigi Dolan, Shotzi and Tatum Paxley. One of the reasons why I love NXT is just that group. Gigi Dolan, Shotzi Blackheart and Tatum Paxley is a great group of people to have together. They're all so similar, and yeah, I just love it. I think they're great. But for me, I feel like Fatal Influence are probably going to get the win here, as they kind of first of many matches they'll probably have within each other. So, you know, they'll have probably another 6-woman tag, but also probably have one-on-one matches with each other as well. I can't see the feud quite ending here without, you know, Shotzi, Gigi and Tatum all like kind of overcoming the heels. But for me, it makes sense that we start with a heel win and then we eventually get to a face win, maybe on a pay-per-view or PLE, sorry. So yeah, that's pretty much as much as I want to see them win all the time. I've got a feeling that Fatal Influence are going to get the win here. The Fatal 4-Way match for the number 1 contendership for the Women's North American Championship. We have Cora Jade, Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, and Stephanie Vaquero gunning for the North American Championship. And for me, I don't think it's going to be Cora Jade because she's a heel, and obviously Fallon Henley is very much a heel. So it comes down to Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, and Stephanie Vaquero. For me, I don't think they're going to put the title back on Kalani Jordan, because for me, the vibe I get from this match is whoever wins is probably going to take the title from Fallon Henley. So it really comes down to Lola Vice and Stephanie Vaquero, and for me, Stephanie Vaquero is made to be women's champion. Therefore, my guess is they're going to put the title on Lola Vice. It makes the most sense. She's very, very popular within NXT and online for fairly obvious reasons. And yeah, it makes the most sense that I assume this match will go down at Vengeance Day, and I feel like that kind of Vengeance Day are very good pay-per-views normally, and yeah, it makes sense that Lola Vice would face Fallon Henley on Vengeance Day and win the championship and kind of have her year begin with a championship win to kind of go forward and have like a half decent run with the championship. So yeah, for me, I want to go with Lola Vice to win this Fatal 4-Way match. And then going on to the two big matches, essentially, which we have Trick Williams versus Obafemi versus Eddie Thorpe for the NXT Championship, which for me, it's hands down Obafemi. I'm not guessing anyone else. I wouldn't bet against Obafemi ever. For me, Eddie Thorpe is in this match to very much take the pin here. I don't think they're going to want to see Trick William get pinned just before I assume he goes up to the main roster. And Obafemi is just not losing this match in my opinion. Therefore, Eddie Thorpe takes the pin here to give Obafemi the NXT Championship, and he goes on a massively dominant run as NXT Champion throughout the whole year. And yeah, this match I'm really looking forward to. Triple threat matches for Obafemi seem to be a very, very good specialty of his. You know, all you have to do is look back at Stand and Deliver, look back at the Joe Coffey and Wesley match, and yeah, he seems to thrive in triple threat action, and I feel like this is going to be no different. And yeah, I look very much forward to seeing Obafemi become the new NXT champion. And in a match that I think probably should be main event, but it probably isn't, but I'm going to do it last, is Roxanne Perez versus Julia in a rematch from the first show on CW. And for me, as much as I don't want to see it because I'm just enjoying Roxanne Perez's run as NXT champion so much, I feel like she's going to lose here to Julia and kind of head up to the main roster with probably SmackDown, I assume. And yeah, you'll see Julia as the new NXT Women's Champion, and she will go on to have fantastic feuds with pretty much anyone on the card, but the one that I think I'm looking forward to, and I would assume everyone else is the feud with Stephanie Vaquero. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the match. I feel like the match quality was very good for these two last time, but I feel like they're going to kind of go all out on this one because it'll be Roxanne's, I assume, last match on NXT, sorry. So yeah, it's a match I'm probably looking forward to the most, only just behind over me getting the win. But yeah, match quality wise, I feel like this is going to be the better one. And yeah, I genuinely think that Julia's going to get the win here, and then we'll see Roxanne Perez very swiftly move up to the main roster where she probably should have been a while ago. But yeah, very much looking forward to the match, but for me, Julia will be the new women's champion. So those are my predictions for Raw, Netflix, and NXT New Year's Eve. As a kind of 2-in-1 video. And yeah, do put down in the comments below who you think is going to win, what you think is going to happen on Raw, what you think is going to happen on New Year's Eve. Do you think anything else other than the matches are going to happen on New Year's Eve? We're going to get some kind of surprise or a return or a debut. And yes, I'm looking forward to both shows. I think it's going to be a great couple of days of wrestling, as well as the days before, which we've had New Japan Wrestle Kingdom today. We've got Wrestle Dynasty tomorrow, so just a lot of wrestling over the next 4 days. And yeah, it's been really cool. I'm very much looking forward to seeing New Year's Evil, and very, very much looking forward to Netflix on Raw on Netflix. Sorry. And yeah, I'm not going to do like a review like I do. This is very much similar to the Saturday Night's main event shows, where I'm just doing predictions to talk about kind of what's going to happen, but I won't be doing a review of it because it's not a PLE essentially. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy the shows. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Do leave a like if you very much did, and yeah, do subscribe, just stick around. There's a lot of content coming up to do with the Royal Rumble. We got my Royal Rumble entrance for the men's and women's coming up in the next few days. I've done AEW men's and women's Rumble entrances as well. I've done my top 10 favourite matches from the Royal Rumble PLE and my favourite Royal Rumble matches. So yeah, got some good lists coming up as well. And yeah, I hope you all stick around for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.